Afternoon. So my name is Jasmine. I'm the head for the foundation programs, and my talk is going to focus on what we cover in the foundation program, mainly in developing students to be successful, and how we run our foundation programs. So what I'm going to talk about first is just to look at in general, what we look for or what we want for our children, and then look at some of the challenges that our youth are facing today, and how at Heriot-Watt University we are actually helping the students to cope with these challenges, and how we actually prepare them in our foundation program to actually overcome or go through these challenges so that they may face, they may actually achieve academic success, right? So to start off with, I would like us to ponder, all the parents listening to this question, for our. So typically, when we ask a room full of parents, many parents would say that they would want their children to be happy, to be successful. They want to their children to lead meaningful, purposeful lives, to be caring and concerned about others, to be empathetic, to be independent, to be responsible. And many parents express this wish. However, when we look at the situation that we are in nowadays, let's look at, while many universities and institutions are very good at preparing our students academically, to thrive academically, are we really training them to achieve what we talk about, to be successful students, to be able to lead purposeful lives, etc. So this is something that actually we want us to think about, and think about how we actually start delivering our education in such a way that we also help students to prepare for these challenges. So the question that I would like us all to think about is that, are we at the same time teaching the students the skills for them to lead happy, fulfilling lives and to be able to face the challenges in the real world while we are preparing them for all these academic challenges? So just briefly to go through what some of the challenges that we talk about. So I'm sure that you would all have heard about the digital revolution, right, that we are facing now, Industry 4.0, and this bring about a lot of new things, new challenges that our youth today have to face. So example, jobs are disappearing, right? Jobs are being replaced. New jobs will be introduced that does not even exist today. So many students are really faced today, and when they graduate maybe 3, 4, 5 years down the road, might not prepare them for a job that still exists. The skills that they are learning today, might become obsolete. They have to learn new skills. And this is inevitable with the advancement in technology, with all the changes that we are having, that we are adapting to today. So a lot of these technological advancements actually threaten to displace the jobs, and and there would be new jobs that will be created in the future. So how do we prepare youth for that? And this slide shows the statistics, that actually support what I've said just now, where there are a lot of research and studies that show that there are many jobs that could be lost in future, and they will be replaced by new jobs. So while universities are preparing students to actually learn new skills, to anticipate what are some of the skills that will be required in future, we also at the same time need to prepare them to be able to adapt to these challenges, right? To be able to face failure, to be able to face uncertainties. And the last year, we have seen that, we have had to actually face a lot of uncertainties with the pandemic. The way of learning has changed, right? We are unable to conduct face-to-face learning. So many students have had to adapt. Even the lecturers have had to adapt to a new way of learning, to a new way of delivery. So all these challenges that are caused by this digital revolution, it brings about also a lot of uncertainty, it creates stress, it creates anxiety among our young people. And the other impact of it is that, when a lot of our young people now are being so overwhelmed by or being so used to using their devices, or they are tied to their computers, to their smartphones, etc., they also lose that human touch. They no longer have that ability to be able to connect with their peers, with people around them, through the social, because the social relationship is now sort of lost, because they are so dependent on their devices, right? So some also statistics have shown that there seems to be a lack or decrease in empathy among young people, and it shows for students moving into university. So what we believe is that in order for us as humans to be able to thrive in this, what we call digital revolution, is not to be smarter or better than the robots or the machines, because we cannot overtake machines in terms of their processing power, in terms of the way that they churn out data, etc. Definitely humans cannot overtake. But the area where humans would be more superior to the machines and the robots and the computers would be in the humanistic values that we bring to the world, that we bring to our jobs, that we bring to whatever that we do. So areas like, showing empathy, right? Being able to express concern, the knowledge to know what is right and wrong, morality, ethics, purpose. These are things where computers or humanoids will find it's not easy. You find that even currently, we cannot create machines that will be able to do this well, not as well as humans. So in whatever jobs that exist next in the future, we need to bring these humanistic values to the jobs, like service, okay, the personal touch. And this cannot be provided by the computers. So, but then when we look at what is happening now, instead of us maintaining this superiority in terms of the humanistic values, we also see that a lot of these are deteriorating. So like mental well-being now is deteriorating or declining amongst, in general, the population, and especially in youth. And even in Malaysia, you hear a lot of news about, mental health situations where youth are suffering from stress, from depression, etc. And a study that was conducted by the Malaysian National Health and Morbidity Survey actually indicates that 20% of adolescents in Malaysia actually suffer from depression, 40% have anxiety issues, and 10% are stressed. So while we talk about preparing students for university and helping them excel academically, we also need to ensure that we address a lot of these concerns so that students can also thrive successfully in their academic studies, and we help to prepare them to be able to face whatever challenges that the future brings about. So looking forward, if the job skills outlook, and the 2022 job skills outlook that was published by the World Economic Forum recently indicates that declining skills such as what we would call the hard skills, the management skills, the auditory skills, the technology kind of skills are actually declining, and the growing kind of skills that now employers are looking for in these areas like creativity, okay, showing initiative, okay, critical thinking and analysis, and emotional intelligence. So these are the type of skills, or the humanistic skills or soft skills, which now we see is a growing importance in terms of also looking for employment. And recently, the Khazanah Research Institute also published a report that shows the school to work transition for young Malaysians. They had actually surveyed employers, and the research actually shows that 50% of employers think that soft skills are they rank soft skills as the most important skills in terms of the kind of skills that they look for when they are actually looking for employees or fresh graduates to join them. And then second comes work experience, and third is only the hard skills. So hard skills are the technical skills or the academic discipline that you're studying for. So when you graduate with a degree, these are the hard skills that we are talking about. And anyone who goes to a university of reputable, that is a reputable, and they go through a particular discipline because of all the quality assurance, they would definitely have those hard skills in hand when they graduate with a cert. But what about the soft skills? How do we train students in this area? So the other would be also the emphasis on lifelong learning. So as I mentioned, there are a lot of changes that we might be encountering in the future. How do we actually train our future graduates to be able to cope, with these challenges and to have that sense of ability of lifelong learning, to be able to learn new knowledge, to be able to actually look at new challenges and face them. So the emphasis on lifelong learning to adapt rapidly to changing nature of work and the type of work is also very, very important. So one thing that we realize when students come to join or when they think about joining university, so if you look at this Kelvin, there are many questions in their mind, okay? So besides all these big issues that we talk about, nearer to home, many students, they have these questions in their mind, like, I'm not quite sure what I want to study in future. What course should I take? Okay, if I were to join a university, I'm coming to a new environment. How will I fit in? How will I make new friends, right? Maybe I'm a bit shy. I'm an introvert. Maybe I might not be able to communicate so well with people. So they have a lot of these also doubts and anxieties in their mind. And we need to also ensure that students who join us, we help to build their confidence, and we ensure that we provide a supportive environment to help them to transition to this new university life. So what we at Heriot-Watt University are doing is that we actually embrace this positive education philosophy in all the delivery of our programs. So basically, what is positive education? Positive education is an education paradigm that not only focuses on academic achievement and excellence, okay, through the delivery of our courses, but we also ensure that there are programs in place to help develop students to in their well-being and character, and to help them to ensure that they flourish as successful human beings, to be able to cope with all those other challenges. So the way that we do it at Heriot-Watt University is through this model that we have, whereby all students who join us, we will guide them to be able to look at and discover their sense of purpose. So we help them through programs to be able to look at what they want to do in life, what is their life purpose. And through this life purpose, then they would be able to achieve academic excellence, be able to, they would have developed strong awareness of their character, values, their strengths, and at the same time, then being able to flourish, to be successful students. And using all this in place, they would then be able to think about how they would want to impact themselves, their community, and the world around them. So this model of positive education is being adopted, and we try to embed that through whatever that we do. So closer to home, in terms of the Malaysian Foundation Programme, we actually have put in place certain programs so that when the minute a student joins us for foundation program, we start them on this journey of discovery, being able to build them so that they not only are able to achieve whatever academic grades or discipline that they are striving for, but we also build them holistically in terms of building, ensuring that they have a positive mindset, we build their mental and emotional well-being and resilience so that they are able to cope with any challenges that are thrown with them. And through these programs, then we ensure that our students will have a successful academic journey when they start foundation with us, and when moving on to undergraduate, and even after they graduate from Heriot-Watt University. So the way we do it is we start off with a very unique orientation program that we call Fit for Future. So all foundation students who join us, they will go through an orientation program which we call Fit for Future, which actually focuses on preparing students for a successful academic journey, and to be able to help students adapt to the new environment, make new friends, be able to bond with their classmates, and to actually find out more about themselves, to build their self-confidence so that they would be able to start their foundation studies on a very strong, positive foot when they start classes. So this online orientation orientation program that we have actually helps students to adapt and transition to our new study environment. So currently, with the current situation, this orientation is 1 week. And if the restrictions are still in place, then it will be conducted online, but there will be face-to-face there will be webinars to support the orientation. So just to give you an idea of some of the sessions that we are hosting, basically, as I said, there will be webinar sessions to guide the students, and all students actually will go through what we call some personal discovery units, which are available in our virtual learning environment. And they are guided through on a daily basis to complete each day's activities and units in the online environment. So you see, this is a snapshot of what we actually provide. Basically, some of the topics that we talk about would be, how they build a successful mindset, how they actually look at developing a positive mindset, expressing emotions in the right way, be able to understand their own personality, they look at their learning styles, and then they also conduct some kind of teamwork and project to be able to work together in a team. So all this is actually conducted in our orientation program. And besides that, we also introduce them to a lot of our Heriot-Watt University services, like the library services, how they can make use of the library, should they not be able to come to campus. We have online resources that are available, how they actually access the information services and get help if they want to, and also our counseling and disability support, should they need any personal consultation due to some personal issues that they might be facing, etc. So all these are all available in the virtual learning environment and offered during the orientation. So last year, we had run this Fit for Future over 3 cohorts already. And here are some testimonials of the students who have actually previously joined this program. As you can see, we received very positive feedback from the students. So one of the students said that he was able to realize his own potential and now feel empowered. And this second student mentioned that throughout the 4 days of the Fit for Future program, she not only got to learn more about herself, but also had a very memorable experience of learning, getting to know new people and the environment, and it helped her to build confidence to be able to start her foundation on a very positive footing. So this is the Fit for Future orientation that we run, and every student who joins foundation, they will have the opportunity to go through this before they start class. Okay, so I will now move on to talk about the foundation program as well. Okay, so for foundation program, what we have done is that also due to cater for the last year's pandemic situation, we had redesigned the entire foundation program so that it can be actually delivered fully online should the situation continue as it is now, the way that we have redesigned the content is that we use a very innovative approach. So it's not just merely uploading PowerPoint slides for students to read. We actually redesigned the entire delivery so that all the learning experience is very engaging, very interesting for students, and students are able to immerse fully in the learning approach that we use. So basically, we actually call it a challenge-based approach in the sense that all the courses now, every single topic, we have designed it in such a way that, we try to link it to real-world challenges, so that whenever students learn a particular topic, they know how to apply it to a very specific challenge where they can see how to solve that challenge in the real world. Okay, and the platform that we use to deliver the foundation program also enables us to actually monitor every student's progress, learning progress, so that we are able to actually help monitor and track the progress for the students, each and every student, such that we can provide more personalized support. So if we see a student is falling behind, then we are actually able to reach out to the student and ask, hey, are you having some issues? Would you need some further support? What are the issues? Would you like to meet up with the lecturer to have a chat and talk about your progress, etc.? So it enables us to actually monitor each student individually. The delivery mode for the entire virtual learning environment also allows us to actually design many interesting learning activities that are varied. So the students have an opportunity to participate in learning activities, not just through reading, but they are able to view videos, or they are able to participate in quizzes. They are able to participate in a discussion forum. They can upload their own assignments. They can type, or etc. So there are many learning activities that can be designed in the learning platform to enable the learning to be more interesting. And it's just not just one way kind of delivery of learning. And of course, we also have the Fit for Future that I mentioned to get students ready. So the way that we actually deliver the learning through the challenge-based approach, we call it authentic learning experience, because we frame it around a given real-life challenge for the students, so that they are able to relate the learning to a real-life challenge. And just to give you an example, for the foundation, what we have designed, the challenge that we have designed for the delivery of all the courses actually is around a fictional city that we have actually created. So this fictional city is meant to be a smart city, and every course that the student takes will have certain challenges whereby they need to address certain challenges for each part of the city to be able to build this smart city that we talk about. So I'll give you an example for two of the courses. So for example, if students are taking mathematics, then the way that we frame the challenge would be, for mathematics, they are building a smart stadium. So in looking at building the smart stadium, students will be tasked to think about, how do they measure maybe the plot of land? How do they calculate certain things? When we introduce certain mathematical formulas for them, they will be tasked to think about how it applies to this building a smart stadium challenge. So that's how we link the learning to the real life challenge. So for example, in English or academic skills, which every student has to take, because academic skills and English focuses a lot on communication skills, writing skills, presentation, and etc. So the students, the challenge that we frame the course around is that students are actually working for a newspaper or a media company, so they are they think of themselves as a reporter for the Urbiston Times, and a lot of the activities are framed around this. So it gives students that real life kind of feel when they are working through all the content and not just learning it as a concept or theory. So this slide just shows an example of the mathematics where we talked about how we linked a real life activity, to the challenge or the scenario that we talked about. So example, the question that could be posed to students would be, how big can we make the stadium given a plot of land that we have to work with? And we use this question to introduce what we call the distance formula. okay, which is a formula that students will learn, in the very early on of the mathematics on how to calculate, the distance between two straight lines, example. And then students will be given some examples, and students work out the solution. And these are actually actual student work, which are then posted into the virtual learning environment. And then the lecturer can actually go and view and check whether the activity has been completed and whether is it correct, and give some comments. And each individual student can also view what their friends are posting, so they can have their own social learning experience or discussion by checking with each other if they actually have the correct answer. So these are the learning activities that I've mentioned just now, that we can put in. And there are many learning activities that the platform allows us to, create, whereby you can actually complete a quiz, you can actually post a video, you can post some reflection, or you can post some comments. And one of the learning activities that we think is really unique to this platform is that we also have a lot of small learning episodes, which are short video lectures that are being provided by our Heriot-Watt experts or even external experts to explain certain topics. So this allows students to actually not only learn from their own lecturers, but they also get to learn from experts. So these are examples of some of the topics that have been put up in the semester 1 courses of our foundation program. For example, here, if students are taking economics for business students, there is actually an interview that they will see with the CEO of Standard Chartered Malaysia, okay, talking about exchange rates. So he's being interviewed by our lecturer, and he's giving some pointers and some of his own insights into exchange rates. And then we also have our very own provost and Principal and Vice Chancellor of Heriot-Watt University from UK, Professor Richard Williams, who actually gave a short lecture on chirogenic liquids in the chemistry course, because he's a chemical engineer, and he has also given a very interesting lecture on that. And then we also have our associate heads of school giving some lectures. So here is an example of Dr. Fu, who's the associate head of school for the social sciences, giving a short lecture about a bank reconciliation statement, this in the accounting course. And Professor Heather McGregor here, who's the Executive Dean of Edinburgh School of Business in UK, is providing also some insights in terms of how we can build social capital for one of the business courses. So that's an example of the type of learning episodes that we have. And every single course actually incorporates these learning episodes from the experts that we have around Heriot-Watt University. So we talked about how we can monitor students' progress. So this is just a very, I just extracted the statistics that we can actually extract. And I think this is mainly would be of interest to the parents, because it helps us to monitor the progress of each student in terms of how they are actually performing in the platform, and enables us to be able then to it's mainly to check that the students are actually progressing well. And if not, then it's to alert us, should we be we need to reach out to the student and find out if they are actually having some issues. And students actually are also able to view this. So they can track whether they have completed the activities, weekly, and if they have not, or, so they can have their own self-management as well in terms of checking to see that they have completed the activities weekly. And this helps them to be able to manage their time better in terms of their learning. So before I end, I just want to share some of the feedback that we receive from students as well. So these are some of the courses that are being offered in the semester 1 of the foundation program. And as you can see, this feedback actually comes from actual student feedback, where the students have commented that they like the videos, they find it's very enjoyable. Then they have commented that they like the variety of information and resources that are provided for each topic. They like the group work. where they get to interact with friends, discuss and solve, the challenges together, and they get to share their opinions and be able to collaborate with each other in the teamwork. So, example for mathematics, the feedback says that, they actually appreciated the feedback that the lecturers give when they post their activities. Okay, and they find that the content is good and allows them to, supports them in their learning. And for example, for chemistry, this comment, talks about the content giving them the opportunity to think out of the box, and also, helpful and enjoyable. And it also helps them to have a better learning experience by linking the learning activities with the real life applications. So they noted that, that it actually helps them to learn in a very effective manner. So in terms of the benefits that this platform actually provides, what we have found is that the learning process in this new way of delivery actually is very structured and it's very organized, because we are able to link all the learning activities together, train students for independent learning. And as I said, because students are able to self-monitor the completion of activities, it helps them to manage their own learning and their time manage, their learning much better. Improves their actually non-verbal communication, because they get a lot of opportunities to share, to type up comments, to do reflection. And of course, all the learning materials are available 24/7 and it's always there on the platform. They can always just go back and review the learning materials and all the videos that have been posted. And there's a lot of opportunities for students to actually self-reflect. And this creates we train students to be independent, self-directed learners, helping them to actually prepare themselves for the undergraduate studies moving forward. Right? So basically, that's about the delivery platform. Just to highlight what are some of the foundation pathways that we offer in our Malaysian Foundation Programme. So we have Foundation in Science and Foundation in Business. And students going through Foundation in Science can choose the engineering route, whereby they would take English, physics, mathematics, and chemistry for engineering. And for the actuarial or data science route, students would take physics, mathematics, English, and computing. And then for the psychology, they would choose psychology instead of chemistry or computing. So for students choosing Foundation in Business, they can go through the 3 pathways as well, where they will do a management pathway, where they will choose between English, business management, economics, and accounting. Right? And for actuarial science, students will have to take English, mathematics, economics, and either accounting or computing. We recommend computing. And then for psychology pathway, students will take English, business management, economics, and psychology. So those are the pathways that are available. And if you need further information or details of the courses, feel free to I can provide more details later. Right. So that actually ends my presentation. Any questions? Thank you very much. Do we have questions from the floor? Okay, so we will also check if there are any questions posted while you're thinking of your questions. Okay. So new students will no longer experience a traditional campus life. How do you think? Yeah, so as I mentioned, with the current new normal that we are facing, whereby, of course, we do hope that eventually all students will be able to come back to campus. However, the current situation and the current Ministry of Higher Education guidelines still states that there are only certain limited activities that can be conducted on campus, which means the core learning will still be done online, and then it will be supported by some webinars and maybe some practical activities that will be run in the labs only on campus. So how do we ensure that, and how do you think this will affect the well-being of students? Of course, naturally, students might tend to feel isolated when they are learning online. So the way that we try to support students in that during our webinars, we always ask the students to, we check in with the students, we ask them how they are, we get the students to speak out, if possible, we try to get the students to turn on their video so we can see them. And then, as I said, the platform enables us to actually monitor the students' progress so that we are able to actually pick out should any student not be catching up or not be progressing as expected. It actually gives us a very quick alert to reach out to the student and find out how they are. So basically, but we try to ensure that the classes that we run, even if it's online, we try to ensure that students still have that interaction with the lecturer, so that they still feel that they are part of a class, and and the teaching will we ensure that the teaching is continue as normal. Okay, online. So basically, we have been running classes online for a year now. Exams still will go on, so there still will be exams. And what we have for the foundation program is that we have what we call take-home exam. So basically, students will access the exam portal, and on the specific day of the exam, they will download the exam paper, and then they complete the exam within a given duration, and then they will upload the exam to the exam portal. So the exam continues as normal in an online environment. Any other questions? So yeah, okay. So basically, how positive education work in terms of well-being. So as I mentioned, the way that positive education is being defined is that we not only focus on delivering academic excellence and helping students to succeed in academic, but we also look at other activities that will actually help them to maintain their well-being. So like we ensure that a lot of this positive reinforcement is also being conducted in the classes, and like trying to helping the students to express positive emotions, be able to conduct certain activities that will actually help them maintain their positive well-being. Okay. Besides focusing in academic, any other initiative unique offered that I should consider to join? Okay. I'm not quite sure. So as I mentioned, foundation program, we have the Fit for Future orientation where we recommend every student to join before they join our program. And I would say that that would be a program that I would recommend that everyone ensures that they join for the Fit for Future program, to help prepare them for our to prepare them to be able to adapt to and transition nicely to university studies at Heriot-Watt University, Malaysia. So, okay. So textbooks, yes. So for every student who signs up for foundation, there is a textbook list, and what we have done is that for students who wish to purchase the textbooks, the book supplier, there is a contact whereby the book supplier will, they can contact the book supplier, and what we have, the arrangements that we have made with the book supplier is that actually all the textbooks that we recommend have e-book version. So immediately on payment, they will actually have access to the e-books. The physical books, the book supplier will actually courier to the individual students if they are not on campus. On top of that, many of our textbooks actually are also available in the from the library online discovery database that we have. So students can also access the discovery resources to access some of the textbooks. Okay. Okay, in my opinion, okay, should the student take accounting or computing? So as I mentioned, for students planning to take the actuarial science route, we offer the student the option to take accounting or computing. It is recommended for students wishing to do that pathway that they should. It is recommended for them to actually take the computing pathway because when we look at the courses that they would be doing when they move on to actuarial science or data science, there will be some element of programming that they might need to do, which would be helpful. However, it is not compulsory. And some students actually choose to do accounting because they would want to actually gain some accounting background, and it's absolutely it's absolutely fine because when they move to the first year undergraduate program, the courses that require programming, they can actually pick it up again on their own. So while it is recommended, it is not compulsory for students to do that. So at the moment, we do have about 50% of our students choose to take accounting. Another 50% of the students choose to take computing, those who are undergoing the actuarial science route. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you.